There was a tree up near McKinley Ridge, far off the trail. No road went to it, no map showed it, but every man in the camp knew where it stood. Tallest in the grove, never dropped a limb, no moss on its bark, and no bird ever landed in it. Old Henry used to say that tree could feel you. No one ever cut it, not once, but that didn't stop it from taking men. In the spring of 1908, a new crew was sent to clear timber on McKinley Ridge. It was remote, high up, and colder than it should have been for that time of year. 12 men, 2 saws, mules, provisions, and a week's worth of powder. And just like every other crew before them, they didn't last long. They set camp a half-mile down from the tree. Not because they were scared, not yet, but because the ground near it never warmed. The firewood wouldn't catch right. The forest was wrong. The foreman, Reed, marked it as Unit Number 9. The logbook entry just read, "Tallest tree, clean bark, no noise." The men called it the Still One, not because it didn't move, but because it seemed to make everything else stop. The bird songs would cut off mid-note when they walked near it. Their mules refused to go closer than 30 yards. One even bucked its pack and bolted down slope, snapping its reins. Old Buckley, a rail-skinny cook who claimed to have logged the Yukon, stopped chopping wood one afternoon and just stared uphill. When asked what he was looking at, he didn't answer, just said, "It blinked." That night, the firewood from that part of the ridge wouldn't burn. It hissed and smoked, but wouldn't catch. Even the bark was cold to the touch, wet almost. But the ground was dry. Reed told the men to cut elsewhere first, said they'd save that quadrant for last. But even then, he made sure someone always stayed at camp, just in case the trail got strange. Eli Tompkins wasn't the kind of man to scare easy. He'd felled yellow pines in the Rockies and split black oak in Arkansas. But 2 days after they reached Unit 9, Eli started acting strange. Said he heard a hum coming from the tall one. Said it wasn't wind. Said it was breath, like something alive just beneath the bark. The others laughed at first, told him to lay off the stump whiskey. But then his tools went missing, all of them, gone overnight. Even his gloves, even his lunch. He started sleeping with his boots on, wouldn't turn his back to the ridge. Then one morning, he was just gone. No tracks, no sign. Only thing left was his axe, buried, handle deep, in a stump facing the tree. Two days after Eli vanished, the crew was behind schedule. The foreman, Reed, said enough was enough. He ordered a cut team to start work on the tall one. It took them half an hour just to drive the springboards in. The bark was denser than anything they'd seen. Dull axes, bent saw teeth, and still no sound from the woods. Then, just as they started the back cut, a limb snapped loose from 60 feet up. No wind, no birds, no warning. It came down like a spear. The limb hit Murphy's springboard and snapped it like a toothpick, left the stunned logger hanging from the edge of his saw, and broke Murphy's leg in 3 places. And where it hit the ground, the earth didn't bounce. It thudded like something had been waiting. Reed called off the job. By nightfall, 2 men had packed their gear and walked down the trail. They didn't even take their pay. In 1932, a forestry agent named George T. Mallory was sent to survey abandoned tracks for possible preservation. He found remnants of Camp 9, rotted tents, rusted tools, a shattered springboard still hanging from a tree. But it was what he didn't find that made him write his most unusual report. No stumps, no felled timber, just one clearing, with a single giant still standing at its center. He called it grotesquely intact, said the air was colder there, sound didn't carry. His final note read, "The men did not log this area. I believe they refused, or they were not allowed." It's been over 100 years since the first crew camped beneath it, and still the tree stands. No one's felled it, no one's marked it, no one's even tried since 1908. Locals call it the Watcher now. They say it leans ever so slightly toward whoever speaks its name. Trail maps don't list that clearing anymore. The GPS goes static near the ridge, and the few hikers who find it say the air feels heavier. Some say the tree took 12 men. Others say it took just one, and made the rest see things that weren't there. But one thing's for sure, some trees fall easy, and some don't fall at all. Every forest has roots, but some run deeper than time. If you like this tale from the Ridge, there are more. Please hit the like button. If you want to view more stories from Crosscut Chronicles, please subscribe. We have some excellent stories buried in old journals, others passed down by men who swore they saw things no one else did. Next week, we'll tell the story of a logger whose springboard broke mid-swing and what he claimed was waiting beneath him. Until then, walk lightly and don't look back too long at the trees. And please hit that like button. Thank you. TH.